Well, hi, everyone. Craig Daly here with Dr. Robert Greenberg. Dr. Greenberg, it's good to have you with us today.
Thank you so much, Craig. It's good to be with you as well.
We just introduced a brand new fiber product at our event in Orlando, Florida called Organic Super Fiber. And I think it's an incredible product. Let me just kind of run down some of the benefits and features of this product. It's non-GMO, organic, vegan, gluten-free, soy-free, dairy-free, no added sugar. One of the things I love about it is the flavor. It's got a light vanilla flavor with just a hint of orange at the end. It mixes well with any beverage. It's not gritty. I like to mix it with our organic super protein and our super green juice. Great way to take all of those together. 7 grams of fiber per serving from a variety of sources. It has soluble and insoluble fiber, which we'll learn a little bit more about in just a minute. It has prebiotic and probiotic support in the product for the gut. And it has antioxidant support from a variety of herbs that are in the product. And something interesting, 4 grams of protein that I know we'll talk about in just a little bit. So this is not your grandparent's fiber. It's a unique fiber that offers a whole lot more than any other fiber product I've ever seen. And typically, when you think of fiber, you think of a product that's not that cutting edge or sexy, something that you need, it's important for you, but not necessarily super exciting. And I think organic super fiber changes all that. I think we've made something that's cutting edge and sexy. We're doing something that hasn't been done with fiber for a long, long time. And I'm really excited about this product and what it will do for people's health and for my personal health as well. So Dr. Greenberg, let's go through some questions. I've got some questions that I prepared. I'd love to ask you these questions and just get your thoughts on organic superfiber so our viewers and listeners can learn a little bit more about it. Are you ready for some of these questions?
Absolutely.
Okay. Number 1, how does organic superfiber support gut microbiome?
Well, first, let's make sure that everybody's on the same page when we talk about microbiome. Microbiome is really a large term for the bacteria that grow in our gut. And just a little tidbit of information, there are more bacteria in the body than there are actual animal cells. So keeping these bacteria strong, healthy, active, and in the case of fiber, well-fed is an absolutely essential part of health and well-being, because good, healthy fiber really makes a difference in our bacteria gut, because they eat it, they consume it. And when they eat it and they consume it, they actually produce hormones. And those hormones have many different effects on the body, all very positive. Many of those effects include anti-inflammatory effects and healing and soothing effects for our body. So the microbiome really needs to stay healthy, and fiber is a great way of shifting the bad fiber into good fiber.
Amazing. Who knew all that existed with the gut microbiome, right? I mean, you just think they're friendly flora in there, but you sometimes don't realize all the things they're involved with. Thank you for highlighting those things. Number 2, what is the difference between soluble and insoluble fiber, and why do we need both? Why are they both beneficial?
Well, just as the name implies, it's a chemistry-based term, so that's sort of right up my alley. But soluble really means that it breaks down in water. And that's what soluble fiber does. It actually dissociates completely in a water-based solution, as opposed to insoluble fiber, which doesn't mix with water, doesn't change its constituent state, but it passes through the intestinal tract intact. Well, there are significant benefits to both type of fibers. And the problem is that in our diet, we tend to get one type of fiber over another type of fiber, and we really need both fibers in order to satisfy all the requirements that our body has for fiber. So we need both. And what's really nice about this product, and by the way, I really echo your sentiments about this product. I too am excited about fiber, and I know that sounds kind of strange for a product that isn't typically over exciting, but this is a very good product, and I'm excited for it for many reasons. One of them being the fact that it does, in fact, have both soluble as well as insoluble sourcing.
Awesome. Next question is about transit time. Why is increasing transit time so important? We hear about that a lot.
We do hear about transit time. So what is transit time? Well, transit time is the time that it takes for the food products that you eat to transition, to go through your digestive tract, to break down into the macro and micromolecules of proteins and carbohydrates and fats, and then even further so the body can utilize them. So then it is a registered time frame, if you will, of our entire digestive tract. There is a sweet spot for transit time. If the transit time is too fast, what happens is that we don't absorb those nutrients, and we don't get the nutrition out of our food. Even though it's in the food itself, our body is not able to absorb it. On the other hand, if it goes too slowly, those particles sit in our intestines. And when they sit there for a long period of time, they start reacting. And those reactions cause putrefaction, fermentation, and those can lead to the production of all of these secondary chemicals like indoles and scatols and hydrogen sulfides. And believe it or not, our body, through a fermentation reaction, can actually even produce alcohol. So if our transit time slows down too much and our fermentation becomes too great, we actually can feel like we're drinking alcohol and wake up the next day with a bit of a food hangover.
Interesting. I hadn't even thought about that before. That's pretty interesting. Well, fiber, we typically think of it for transit time and bowel and so forth. There are lots of other benefits. One of those is cholesterol levels and improving healthy cholesterol levels. Can you talk about how fiber improves our cholesterol levels?
Well, there's been a lot of studies and research, as you know, that has been done on the relationship between fiber and cholesterol level. Actually, it has the most positive effect on LDL type of cholesterol, which is the bad guys. It lowers the bad guys, which is exactly what we want to accomplish. But the other positive side of that coin is it doesn't negatively impact the HDL, the good guys. So it is a double positive to our LDL, HDL levels and ratio that we need to maintain for healthy cholesterol. So if we consume about 10 to 20 grams of fiber, particularly in this category, soluble fiber, we know that we can lower our cholesterol level by about 18%, and that's huge. So when we talk about elevated levels in our body, we oftentimes think of medications, unfortunately, like statins. Well, even statin success does not mirror the 18% that we can see through a good soluble fiber supplement.
And that's exciting. That's a huge number. So some great benefits to this organic super fiber. What about other heart healthy benefits to fiber or cardiovascular benefits of fiber? Are there others besides the cholesterol?
Well, there is. So obviously, you've just named the first one. So anytime we lower and we balance the cholesterol, particularly the HDL and LDL ratio, we are taking the stress off of the heart having to pump, because with the wrong ratio of cholesterol, our blood becomes more viscous, more thick, and it's just harder for that heart to have to pump that circulation through the entire body. So that's one benefit right there. It also lowers our blood pressure. Fiber does. It lowers our blood pressure, so it takes the stress off the heart as well. And something else, it actually encourages a healthier weight. And anytime we maintain a healthier weight, we're really placing less stress on the heart. Overall, if we increase our fiber intake by around 7 grams of fiber daily, our risk of heart disease drops by 9%. I mean, that to me is incredible, and it's a no-brainer. And beautifully enough, and this I don't think was planned, but it came out just perfect. The concentration of fiber in a dose of this new organic superfiber is exactly 7 grams.
Yeah. Yeah. Fantastic. What an incredible product. Next question. Are there any indications that taking fiber supplements daily can increase longevity and improve health? Live longer, right? Can we live longer with fiber?
You know, who would have thought that you would even be asking a question like that, right? I mean, doesn't that seem far-fetched that we are talking about the fountain of youth? And if Ponce de Leon only realized that it might have been found in fiber, he would have never perhaps discovered some of the new land. But yeah, we see a 19% reduced risk of death from all causes with people who eat greater fiber intake. That's incredible. Research shows you increase your fiber, you decrease your rate of death from all types of diseases. In fact, if you eat a higher amount of fiber, again, up in that 25 gram of fiber every single day, you reduce the incidence of diabetes, heart disease, stroke, and even some cancers. So it's significant. And again, who would have thought that just this little product that we take for granted and we go, oh, I don't need fiber, really makes a huge difference in our life.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure one of the reasons that it helps with longevity is because it supports glucose levels in the blood. And the next question is about how does organic superfiber support glucose levels in the body?
Well, that's an excellent point, because glucose regulation in the body really can lead to a myriad of secondary complications if it's not regulated properly. And so one of the things that fiber does is it slows down the absorption, and it doesn't allow glucose to, no matter what concentration we eat it in, it doesn't allow it to get absorbed instantly, rush into our bloodstream, and then spike our blood glucose level, causing an insulin reaction, and then causing all of the secondary effects based on that, including increasing it driven into fat cells, et cetera, et cetera. So we want to slow that down. Now, we're not advocating that you eat a lot of sugar, and we're not saying now it's okay to do so. But if one does so, this is a great way to regulate that. And even if you don't eat large concentrations of sugar, this helps slow it down and balance it out. And so you'll also not see that spike and then that depression reaction. So it just evens things out a lot a bit, and therefore it's a lot easier on the overall insulin and on the pancreas and the adrenals for having to take care of that imbalance.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the things that Touchstone Essentials really focuses on is detox with our Pure Body Extra and Pure Body products and so forth. How does this help with that? How does it help with detox? Because fiber, I think we all know, because it improves transit time and so forth, and just the nature of fiber, it tends to pick things up. How does it help detox?
Well, you know, we don't often talk about this, but toxins have to get out of the body. So it's not just a matter of binding to them like we do with PBX, and we carry them out. And PBX is a unique way of doing that. But most toxins have to exit the body. And there's only a few mechanisms that the body incorporates to have that occur. And one of the primary mechanisms, believe it or not, is through the intestinal tract. So what fiber does is it can oftentimes bind to those toxins and carry them out so that they can't be affected, they can't be reabsorbed, they can't cause any other havoc, if you will. It just carries it through and out the body. It's a very efficient way of doing it. It's a very efficient way of getting it out of the body and getting rid of it once and for all.
Yeah, and doesn't the liver dump toxins into the bowel, and we create toxins in the bowel and so forth? So it's really important to have fiber in the gut to remove that, right?
That is an excellent point, Craig, and that's absolutely right. And if we don't remove those toxins, what happens? They instantly get reabsorbed again. And when they get reabsorbed, they go right back into the circulatory system. They go right back into playing havoc. And let's assume they were deposited in a benign area like a fat cell. Well, this time they have an equal opportunity, if you will, to be deposited into a cell where they can cause much more permanent damage or problems. So reabsorbing these toxins is a double negative as opposed to getting them out of the body. So fiber is absolutely essential for that.
Yeah. And that kind of leads us into weight management. You kind of touched on weight management a little bit ago, but you also just mentioned if toxins are reabsorbed into the body, they might end up in fat cells. That kind of, or in fat cells. So that kind of talks a little bit about and maybe segues into this idea of weight management through fiber. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, it sure does. And I guess we're getting back into kind of the normal thinking about fiber. A lot of the things that we've covered so far really aren't what one would typically think of for fiber. And that's the point we're trying to make, that fiber is really so far beyond what we would normally think of as a great remedy to include in our daily supplement intake. But fiber really makes a big difference when we talk about weight loss, because fiber reduces our appetite. And so it gives us a feeling of fullness without increasing our caloric load, because so much of it is not absorbed. And so therefore it doesn't create any additional calories. It doesn't create any additional fat cells. It's filling without being fattening. So, and because it does that, because it slows the emptying of the stomach, it increases digestion and absorption. We're not as hungry, we're not as deficient at other nutrients, and we don't need to eat right away. And one of the amazing factors about fiber and weight loss is that it seems to specifically target belly fat. And belly fat, as you know, is really a very dangerous type of fat, and it's associated with metabolic disease. So getting rid of belly fat is absolutely essential. And again, fiber checks the box in that category as well.
Yeah. One of the interesting ingredients, at least for me, in this fiber product, organic super fiber, is protein. Can you give us your thoughts on why protein was included in this formula?
Well, it was a brilliant concept to include protein. And the reason it's in there is to slow things down. Protein breaks down much slower than carbohydrates do, and it oxidizes more slowly. And by adding it in there, we are slowing this process down of oxidation of the fiber. And so it doesn't just move through the body. And so that's very important, because again, we talk about that transit time, and protein gives us this regulation. Protein in its breakdown also gives us this satiety, which is that fullness feeling, that feeling of satisfaction in eating. So as we break down the protein, we feel full for a longer period of time at that balanced level. And protein is just metabolically stabilizing. So it's a great thing to add this to a fiber product, and it really is beneficial in all of these ways.
Yeah. Well, last question. What other products in our line would you pair with organic super fiber, and why?
Well, that is such a great and open-ended question. I would have to say what am I trying to accomplish?
Yeah.
And so if we take the last one, for example, and we say, I want to accomplish weight loss, I would think of my fiber product being placed with Boost. And Boost, if you're not familiar with it, is a wonderful product with a very complete formulation that has ingredients in there that not only improve and increase the metabolism of the body, but they help break down our aspect of what we're bringing in, and it helps with weight loss. It helps with curbing the appetite. So when you add Boost to the fiber product, it really is a great weight loss program. If you're talking about detoxification and fiber, then of course you've got to be talking about Pure Body and Pure Body Extra with the intent of helping those toxin particles be eliminated permanently through the intestine, and as you mentioned very carefully, not being reabsorbed by the body. So it is absolutely perfect for doing that. Now, when I think about diet, when I think about detoxification, I'm always a stickler to make sure that we're actually getting all of our nutrition in our body. And what I've really come to realize is that we can't get all of our nutrition out of our food anymore. And no matter how well you think you eat, and you may be eating very well and you may be eating very purely, but getting your nutrition is almost impossible because we do tend to eat the same type of foods and our variety is really not great enough. So how do we get that nourishment into our body on a daily basis? How wonderful it is to simply take Super Green juice or Super Green Plus D. Just a great way to augment getting the nutrition in that we need to help with detoxification, to help with weight loss, to help with whatever it is that we're trying to accomplish with fiber.
Yeah. Wonderful. There's so many things you can pair it with in our line. I mean, this is a versatile product that pairs well with so many things, and we're excited to have it. Dr. Greenberg, thanks for being with us today and sharing your knowledge and thoughts about this product. You helped us all understand it so much better and why we need to take it on a regular basis to improve our health. Well, folks, there you have it. Touchstone Essentials Organic Super Fiber. It's not your grandparents' fiber. In fact, it's cutting edge. It's sexy. We're excited about what we've done with fiber in this product. The other thing I love about it, it's not a faith product like most nutritional supplements. It's a feel product. It's a see product. And I invite everybody to try this product so that you can feel and see the difference. In just a day or two, you'll notice a difference. So I'll leave you with that challenge. Thank you again, everybody. We appreciate you joining us, and we'll see you next time. Take care.
Bye now.